Right, hello troops. Welcome back to the Fit for Life podcast with your host Alan Fitt-on. We have the second episode with my good friend Rob here. Say hello.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents.
How we doing, mate?
We're all right. Yourself?
Good. I'm very well. So, what you been up to since our last episode? Anything fun? Anything dandy? Anything you'd like to share?
Nothing much. Just going on holiday soon. So, on Monday. So, by the time you're probably watching this, I would have got a bit of tan on. So no, nothing much, nothing new. Just been Amsterdam. One of my coaches fought, so had a good time in Amsterdam. You know, when you're in Amsterdam, you're Amsterdam.
You have to.
You have to. It'd be rude not to.
How long were you there for? Was it a week you were there for?
Oh no, just for the weekend.
So it was the weekend.
It was just because he's fighting. So they brought us over on a Thursday, and then we came back on a Monday.
Lovely.
Yeah, Monday. That's it.
I've seen a few fights. Your coach had a fight, didn't he?
Yeah. So that was in Amsterdam. That's where we went.
That was
the Amsterdam fight.
Right. Okay.
Didn't get the result we wanted, but the fight went good. Okay, it went really good, and then just unfortunately just didn't go our way. Mm-hmm. But I said performance-wise, everything was perfect because it's an MMA fight. So we've gone in there because my coach is a purely striker, and we've gone in there with the chance of possibly being our opponents, but then once again, Kev fought a professional kickboxer who's turned to MMA, and we thought, you know what, two kickboxers is going to go to striking, but then again, Kev's quality is so high that he turns every kickboxer into wrestler. So
right, okay,
yeah,
okay.
That's where the fight went to the floor, and that's it. And then that's where Kev ended up losing because once again, he's not a grappler.
Oh, fair enough.
That's it. But he did good. A
Yeah.
lot better than the first one. Okay, improving.
Cool, quality. What about all the social media content stuff you've been doing? I've seen a few things on the fly. They've been looking good.
Yeah, I've
It's
tried.
going well.
But
You
then
have YouTube and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying with it, but it's like I still struggle because I'm not that creative. So I'm like, just need to create more content. I've actually done like 4 posts I'm gonna do like the next couple of days. Just simple things, but just like I'm trying to organize it because I'm going out for 2 weeks. So I just need to keep updated while I'm away, and that's it. So I've just got 4 little posts to post in the next space of 2 weeks. And that's it, and maybe do some training videos while I'm on holiday.
Where are we going on holiday?
When?
Where?
Mauritius.
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely.
My missus got family there, so we're just gonna go see the family. She's got a cousin's had a newborn baby, so we're just gonna see the family and just have a good time.
What's the weather like there this time of year? Is it?
It's their summer, so I am expecting to get burns like within
as pink as that t-shirt.
Yeah, honestly, no, I got lobster red.
Yeah, I'm the same. To be honest, I don't tan at all.
I go on holiday and I come back paler than I left because it's just burn and just stay away from sun. That's my goal, is don't get burns. But like my missus, she's got like olive skin, so she just wants to sit in the sun. So I'm not just like follow around. And I'm like, this is hurting me.
Yeah. Do you favour to bring your mic down a little bit? If you do it on the adjuster, that's it like that. There you go. It's a bit more like directed to your mouth now. Beautiful, lovely,
perfect.
So yeah. What do you think of Loki? I think we need to really talk about it on here. We briefly.
You know what? I have to admit, ever since Endgame, that is my favorite Marvel show, film, whatever they created.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Spider-Man, but
Spider-Man was pretty top tier.
Yeah, but this is like the best
Next
show
level.
they've done so far.
And have you just seen the trailer for What If as well? The What If trailer got released yesterday.
I've not seen
for
that
the
yet.
next 9 on the lead up to Christmas. There's like one coming out every day on the way up to Christmas. Obviously, the Marvels will just come out as well, innit?
Yeah, but I've not heard that great reviews for it.
But see, this is like an interesting conversation. This because it's not doing so well in the box office because it's all a female cast movie. That's been that's
been
so
sexist.
I know.
That's so sexist. I'm a feminist,
but
you know.
It's true though, because that's what all the feedback and stuff is about. Like you read polls online and all that kind of stuff. That's why it's not grossing as much, and also they're not being able to market it as much either because of the writer strikes as well. So it's got a lot going against it. But from what I've heard and seen of it, I'm going to see it. I think potentially this weekend, hopefully. I've heard that it's meant to be really good. I've heard it's meant to be great.
I've heard it's it's all right. I heard actually it's not bad, but I just don't know. I just feel like it's just rushing everything. So I'm not really. Okay. I still want to watch it, but I just
you might go to the movie to watch. You may wait for it to come out.
Yeah, that's it. Because I'm not gonna go to cinema because said it's like I'm not interested in it. Like the Marvels was like Miss Marvel was a good film. I enjoyed it, but I feel like because I've just read the reviews on it and everything, it's like
I see. You can't base on that because that's someone else's opinion.
Not comic. It's not based on comics because it's like they never created. There was never like a team of the Marvels.
That's true.
So it's like it's just
a bit manufactured.
They rushed it and that's it. So I'm like, well, I don't read comics, but I don't see the point of like I don't see the point going to them and watching it. I'll just wait till it comes out and then I'll watch it at home.
Fair enough.
But Loki was incredible.
Yeah, it was the ending of that was just mind blowing. Emotion. I think you had it all. I had all emotions on that one last episode. It was killing me. Then also I just watched the last watch, The Witcher as well, season 3, last episode of Witcher. Have you been watching The Witcher?
Yeah.
With Henry Cavill.
I can't believe he's left. But
that's why I think I might just boycott season 4. But then I feel I've got to give it a chance, but as much I don't want to because Chris Hemsworth's brother in it. Is it Jack Hemsworth that's doing it?
No, it's it is. It is.
I just feel like he's not going to be the same as Henry. Because Henry's like, and I feel like he's.
It's like you ever like seen like there's only one Iron Man.
Yeah.
There's only one.
Exactly. It's like someone else stepping into the shoes of like Wolverine.
That's it.
It's just like it's going to happen, but you don't want it to happen. You're like, I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. But yeah. Anyway,
that's the geek talk.
Yep, that's the geek talk. Out the way, we're gonna out the way nice and early. So this is episode 2. So today's episode is about we're gonna go a bit more into like building strength and conditioning in boxing and get Rob's experience and opinion and input on these kind of questions. So I had a little catch up there. So we're gonna tick that box off. Beautiful. So jumping into now the importance of strength and conditioning in boxing. How critical is S&C for boxers' overall performance to you?
Oh no, well, the best way for it, like people that don't train to understand it is, it's a mod, isn't it? So it's like modding out your car, modding out your PC.
Yeah, it is.
So
like it's a good shout actually.
The better kit you have, okay, the better like it's gonna work. And it's the same like strength conditioning is just a modification to your body, but it doesn't actually like you don't put thing on it and then like turn it over like one night. It takes time, but it just like improves your overall performance. So it's like improves your speed, improves your power, improves your like just your ability to react to things a lot quicker. Because like I said, it's just focusing on like just improving them fast twitch muscle fibers.
Mm-hmm.
But I think S&C is like one of the like biggest components that everyone should incorporate. Even people like if you don't do like S&C is like specifically called S&C, but like you do like said like boxers after training they'll do like press ups, squats and stuff like that. So in a sense that's kind of is part of your S&C as well. And then like when you get a bit more advanced, then when you go like to specific like people that just specifically focus on S&C, and that's when you start like building up your power, your speed and everything. Because I remember the first time I did my like first any weights, I did 30 kilo deadlift for about 20 reps and I felt so strong. I was like, really? Oh my god, I'm the strongest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And then when I actually started doing proper deadlifts, like there's no technique, no form. It's just like seeing it on
off the floor,
seeing it on YouTube, that's it, and then pick the bar up and that's it. And then like when I actually start doing strength conditioning and I had to do like my first of like 70 kilo deadlift, I was so weak. Yeah. That's it. But then it's like you need to have that strength. You need to be able to like have strength for both your sport and then just like that general strength outside the sport as well.
Yeah. So it's a massive important component.
It is. It's a lot like you're just modding your car.
You are, yeah. And that's what like a lot of what we compare you most to like tennis athletes, because tennis athletes are quite a hard pounding that they do as well in the strength and conditioning perspective.
Because it's like it's skill, but they also have to be like so fast to be able to just react with the ball and like even way like is the agility being able to change from like angle to angle, like running side to side, and everything. Yeah. And it's also like the tendon, ligament strength that needs to do as well, because like that constant running sideways, okay, it just puts strain on your tendons and your muscles. So if you don't do your strength and S&C, conditioning,
we'll probably make it simplistic for this because the words are going to be said a lot, and even on my notes I've got S&C written down. I know every 2 minutes I feel like you're saying like strength and condition every 2 minutes, so we'll just say S&C. So that's what S&C guys means, strength and condition, a simpler form of saying it. So awesome. So what specific benefits would you say proper strength training brings to boxers' skill set? Well,
when I started, so the first thing that I noticed what strength conditioning, S&C, helped me with was firstly it's the strength and like my ability to like perform for longer, like I said, and faster. But the biggest thing I noticed is when I was in camp, always getting ready for fights, like I always looked in good shape. But then outside camp, like although my training still was quite high intensity was quite high.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as high as in the fight camp. I kind of like, I still was lean, but I had a little podge on me, and I was just like, well, I'm still doing everything the same, so why am I having a podge? Because I'm not like as strict with my diet and everything. Right. When I started doing strength conditioning, SNC guys, okay. One thing I noticed that was like I was in a good like shape all year round. So whether it was in camp or was outside camp, I was always in a great shape. So I always had abs. Because I said when I didn't do like SNC outside camp, I always had a little podge.
Oh really?
Yeah, honestly, it's weird. It's weird. Like, and then like if I tense, you could see abs. But like when I wasn't tensing, it was a little podge. But when I started doing like weights, that's when I was like,
it changed your frame.
Yeah,
and like a bit more muscle on you.
Like I look good all year round.
Yeah. Which is a winner scenario. Would you say between just out of interest, my own interest in this, between those points of not doing and doing, usually would your eating change would be the same across that? Is it literally the only thing that changed was the SNC, or did your nutrition change at all as well?
No, my nutrition stayed the same for first couple, because like when I start like training and everything, like for me it was just like you need to go in session, you need to do like work hard and that's it, come out. Mm-hmm. So when I started doing SNC, like my nutrition didn't change as it should have done, because like I said, like when you're training and doing heavy weights, you need to like increase your like carbohydrate intake and everything for like glycogen
stores, protein intake, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I didn't know that, so it took me quite a while, because like my coach used to like tell me all this stuff, and then just like, and that's how I learned a bit more about like SNC and like nutrition due to my coach. Mm-hmm. But at first my diet stayed the same. It was just like under eating, that's it. But eventually it got better. But like I said, the first physical change that I noticed was the fact that I was like, I looked in shape all year round.
Cool.
So that's like the first.
I would say that you were a bit thicker as well. So we'd say that you're a bit bigger and a bit more.
My quads got massive.
Were you a quadosaurus Rex?
Yeah, that's it. That's the only reason I'm not allowed to go to Japan, because they call me the Quadzilla.
There we go. Good thing I think for the guys that don't do boxing or much weight training, that's when you get into weight training, as Rob just said, you see quite a big change in quite a short period of time. Increase your metabolic rate has meant that Rob could stay a lot leaner, in better shape more frequently, because he raised the metabolic rate from building muscle. Therefore, he should stay in better shape.
Science and shit.
Yeah,
that's what we say.
It's like science. Yeah, it's epic. So, how would you say that S&C differs in boxing compared to like other sports or general fitness training?
Well, when you do general fitness, you're not really focusing on like improving. Like when you do general fitness, your goal is just like look good and like maintain like some sort of like cardiovascular fitness as well. Like you want to look good and you're able to like just do your 5K or whatever you want to do. But when you do like S&C for specific sport, like now you need to like focus on like specific muscle groups. You need to focus on like what's the demand that's the sport. For example, boxing. Yeah. There's a lot of like in and out, so you need to make sure you're focusing on like being explosive, of getting in, landing your strikes and getting out. And the same applies with your punches. You need to be able to throw your punches fast, okay, before your opponent is able to like got the chance to counter or attack back. So it's like you just focus on more specific areas which you need to train, then instead of like just going full body. Yeah. So it's like you still focus on like a full body, but like you're focusing more on like what
specific areas.
What do you need to improve to get better at your sport?
Yeah.
So that's like that's the main difference.
That's an awesome answer. That I love that. From a contrast with my interest, my demographic, I've been like doing bodybuilding in the past. Is like, I guess for a bodybuilder, it's not functional, but it's aesthetic. So from a symmetry perspective, you'd be working on specific areas to bring up your weaknesses. Yeah. And then obviously in your contrast for a sport, i.e. boxing, you know, obviously prioritize specific muscle groups to get more explosive power through the shoulders. And
like you see like some athletes, like I know quite a few like my mates that like do S&C and everything, like, but they don't improve their aesthetic appearance because they're not really bothered how they look. They just want to perform better. So like I know a few lads that are like literally they look podgy all year round, but they're fast, they're strong, they're powerful, and that's it. But that's due to S&C. Like for myself, I like to incorporate a little bit of hypertrophy as well, because like say I just like to look good naked, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Sound. Cool. So can you discuss the specific demands of boxing and strength and conditioning programs, and how they should be tailored to address those needs, and also talking about what muscle groups you would prioritize in the training plans as well?
So like I said, so the first need from like your strength and conditioning in like combat sports is you need to understand that strength and conditioning isn't the priority. It's not the primary goal. So it's there as an accessory to improve your skill. So you shouldn't focus too much on like getting stronger and faster, because as I said, if you start focusing on that too much, then you're neglecting the skill. Which
was the foundation to what we talked about last time, wasn't it?
So the skill is the primary goal that you need to improve. So when you do your strength conditioning, for like, it doesn't matter which sport it is, okay? Some sports you can do a bit more like high intensity, and some sports you can't. But if your strength conditioning impedes with your skill work, well, that means that you're overdoing it a little bit. So the main goal, like with boxing, kickboxing, MMA, when you do your strength conditioning, is focusing on not overdoing it. Because if it, like I said, you doing strength conditioning in the morning or like on a night, but the next day you got a skill practice, but you turn up to your skill practice and you have no ability to perform like when you need to perform because you're too fatigued from the previous session. Then it's like, well, then you're kind of like now neglecting.
It's counterintuitive, isn't it?
You're neglecting what you need to do. Right. Just because you want to look like you want to be faster, stronger, or look better. So like the main goal is understand the primary of why you're doing it. Like what is the purpose of doing strength conditioning? And its instance is to help you as an accessory for your sport.
To improve you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm a bit ill, so you're going to hear me cough a lot.
But it's balance, isn't it? Balance is key. So your skill is your priority, and the strength and conditioning is accessory to help improve other bits in your performance within your skill and your overall performance.
You're just basically trying to modify yourself to part where you can perform as quick, as fast, as powerful as you can without overdoing it. Okay.
So what areas would you specifically work on? So we're talking like as in muscular areas or
I'd say like you want to be strong all over, but I think like it's more legs, like dynamic.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like you need to be able to, because all your power comes from when you punch, when you kick, all your power comes from ground up. So it's legs. You need to be able to be able to get quickly in, get out. When you throw your strikes, it comes from like legs up. So it's like you need to be able to rotate your it's like ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, and then into your strike, and then you need to be able to get it back quick. But then if you it happens all the time as well. Like if you go too fast, sometimes like you can just twist your ankle just by throwing a punch. So you need to make sure that like everything at the bottom is strong. Okay, so you can like move in, move out, throw your shots, get out. So I'd say like it's a lot of like leg work, like focusing on just building strong base.
Okay.
So for your movement, like whether you taking a hit, because like when you take a hit, you need to absorb your shots. And once again, what holds you upright is your legs. So for me personally, I'd say it's like leg. You need to focus on like building
leg work,
base. Instead, because like so you can build like chest, you can build your like shoulders, everything, but that's not going to help you with punches. Okay, it might make you look good, but it's not going to help you.
Power's coming from down below. Well, what about core too? You just say core's
core's another one. That's a good one. Core's another one because like that's all that rotation as well. So you need to make sure you have got a strong core, because like I said, when you throw your shots, you need to be able to throw them, and if you miss them, you have the ability to stop yourself and record the shot back before something else. Because you see, oftentimes, like even if you go watch like my old fights, you'll see me throwing punches. This is like before I even started doing SNC, and even when I first started doing it, like when I throw my punches or my kicks, sometimes I throw them, and then if I missed, I just go miles away instead of trying to hit it and then pull it back. It just, because I've got no core strength to be able to pull it back.
I see. So,
like when you when you throw your shots and you miss it, you need to have the ability to like
stop,
and then that's it. Stop yourself, pull it back.
Right.
So core work, big part as well. Legs and core, and then said everything up top here. It's just an accessory. Okay, build your strength, but like accessory.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna hop into foundational movements now. So what are the key foundation movements or exercise that every boxer should be incorporating into a strength training routine?
I think it's like just the general compound movements. Like you master them first.
Say that, like squat, deadlift.
Yeah, squat, deadlift, your presses, your pull-ups, your your rows. Just the general compound movements. Because like you don't want to go anything fancy at the start. No. You want to build that baseline strength. You want to build that baseline cardio, and from there you want to progress. Like I said, when I first started doing strength conditioning, I did with Adam Chang from Hybrid Fitness.
Right.
And I remember my first session, I hated it. I hated him because my first session, he made me do all these heavy weights, and I was just like,
what's the purpose behind it?
Yeah, I was like, what's the point? Like, I've never lifted in my life.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did 30 kilo deadlift for 20 reps and I thought I was awesome.
Yeah.
And then like literally like I went in there and like I left and I was dying. My body was like in pain. I was just like, and I'm also like, I hated it because I thought like pointless. But then I went back the next week and then everything was lighter. It's just like went lighter, went easier. And then I realized what he'd done was he just wanted to see where I was at. And from there, he was just like building me up. So that first session, I hated him. But then I realized, because when I realized what he's done, I was just like, actually, I do like him now.
It makes sense.
But it's like, so Adam was like kind of like taught me like a lot about strength conditioning, because I said I did my level 2 and level 3, and that taught me nothing. Taught me like nothing about weightlifting, coaching, and everything I learned was from like Adam
experience. Yeah. It's the same with like even myself. I don't really use much of anything that I learned when I did my qualifications. Now, that other thing that I learn and teach now is what I've self-taught, what I've learned from coaching people face-to-face and a mixture of people that I've coached. And this is that mindset education you get over time. Like, you can't beat that. Like, you look back to your course that you did, and you're like, what do I actually use from that I use in today's like coaching? I don't use fucking any of it. It's mental, really. No.
So most of my stuff is like from just experience of getting coached.
And
just watching, shadowing others, and that's it. Apart from that, it's like I just think some of these strength conditioning, like I did mine one in like 12 weeks, but then I had a friend who did his like level 2 and level 3 and took him 3 years, and I was like, well, that's the sort of course I want to do. Because then you're actually learning. It's like, it takes so long. When mine's like 12 weeks and that's it. Just give me your money, fill these things in.
Yeah, to the boxes, fill those boxes, and that's it. See you later. Job done. See you in a bit. I don't think, even though the course, I don't think you learn as much as what you need to learn. I don't think you learn. I'm a very hands-on learner, so I learn best when I'm with someone doing something with my own hands or interacting in that scenario myself. And I learned the standards in the course, but then when I started coaching people, when I really started to learn, that's a danger now with like PTs and like online coaches, because people get the quals fast and then they quickly like, I'm an online coach now. But I'd say if you've not had experience of like 3 or 4 years of coaching people face to face, how are you going to know what people's struggles within movements and exercise is going to be without having that face-to-face coaching in person? You can't program for that from an online perspective. It's too difficult.
That's why I say like your basic compound lifts are the primary. Once you learn them, then you can start adding your like accessories and everything, because they're like the main lifts. They're like the main strength lifts, and then from there you build up, and that's it. So the main the best thing for you anyone that wants to start doing strength conditioning is learn your basic movement patterns, and that's it. Don't need to do any complex stuff you see on Instagram, because it's all for social media. It's not there to actually help you. So get a good strength conditioning coach.
Cool.
That's it.
How do those exercises can contribute to improving your boxing performance?
Well, because it's like you're getting stronger. Because you're getting stronger, like your movements faster. Like there's less chance of an injury, because said like your tendons, your ligaments, like the muscles around your like bones, like your tissue, like your joints get stronger. So it's like you basically prevent yourself from getting injured, and you what's the word now? You also reduce the risk of osteoporosis. Right? Big word for me, guys.
You get it. Tends to be when you get a bit older. That.
Yeah, but that's me. But
you're right. You bob on. I think people don't realise that. Why I tend to coach people when I PT people, that you're not only just training the muscle that you see, you're training the intricate areas within your complex joints, which is your elbow, your shoulder, your hip. The tendons and ligaments surrounding those need strengthening, and they get stronger from doing weighted movement.
Because because a lot of ligament, like tendons, ligaments don't get. That's one thing. Once again, I learned this from Adam Chang. Yeah. They don't get like blood supply. No. So the best way to get blood around that area is by training the muscles around it, which allows to strengthen the ligaments, tendons around it, and then at the same time the muscle gets stronger, so the high chance of protection for the tendons and ligaments.
Exactly.
Tendons, ligaments.
Important. Really important.
It's going to be like constant repetition of tendons, ligaments, strength conditioning.
S&C. So, a little bit into like periodization now.
Well, that's something I struggle with.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. But let's talk about it.
Yeah. So, how is periodization approached for boxers in like S&C programs?
I think it's probably like most S&C like programs. Like when you start, like say periodization, it's like all depends on where you are in your stage, whether it's in a camp or not. So when you start your camp, you do general movement patterns once again, because you're trying to get your body used to on lifting weights, like moving fast, and that's it. And then the closer you get towards your camp or close towards the like fight date, the more sport specific the movements get. So at first you'll start with like heavy lifting, and then like you'll drop your reps, and you might focus on like going maybe a little bit heavier, and then a small amount of reps, because the closer the fight gets, the closer you get to the fight, the more intense the camp gets.
Okay.
And if you just still constantly focus on working high volume, high reps, your body's gonna get fatigued. And then then you can't perform your skill work. So towards the closer to the fight, you start focusing a bit more on like lower reps, but like you still maintain that high resistance. But just so enough like to just to build that strength, make sure like you perform. See, like I know I want to say, but I struggle with explaining it.
Mate. Take a second.
Take a second. It's not my specialty, but
it's
basically so what the closer you get to a fight, the less you want to lift. The more you want to start focusing on building that speed and power. Like start camp, you focus on strength, and then closer you get, it's speed and power. That's when you want to start building on.
So from me reading from what you're saying to me, I would imagine that you start your cycle going like more heavier, less reps. As you get closer, surely you take back weight and increase reps, because from a safety perspective, there's less risk.
That's it. And then so like, but if you take a fight on like short notice, like you can't do strength work now because it's like it's too close to a fight. So you go straight into that power work, because power still incorporates like strength bits. So like five sets of 5 reps. Okay. Not heavy reps, so not high volume, but you're still focused on building that strength and power, and you're trying to move the bars, whatever you're doing fast, whether it's like jumps, whether it's like doing plyometrics, dynamic work, you're still focused on building that strength by going fast, but you're focusing on power work instead.
Okay.
So if you take a fight on short notice, like, because with boxing, especially professional ranks, it's not like specific. It's not like you like in football you got a season, so you know when like the season starts and the season finishes. So in boxing, it's like you take a fight, and then so like you could have you can have one fight 8 weeks, maybe next fight 6 weeks. You might take a fight, so you got 8 weeks, and then after that fight you might, you know what, I'm fresh, I might go again, and then 4 weeks later you go again. So you kind of had to just work around the actual fight, and then like the higher level, the more recognized you get, the higher level like you fight at, then it's like, you know what, we can't take a fight unless it's 12 weeks because we need to get a full camp. But like when you start off initially, it's like you could literally take a fight and then 4 weeks later you have another fight. So you have to like work around the camp. So whatever you got, like 8 weeks, or you got 4 weeks, or you got 6 weeks, you have to be able to like understand what work needs to be prioritized. So like the longer the camp, that's it. The longer the camp, the better the strength conditioning prioritization can be, because then you can start focusing on your strength work, then you go into your power work, and then you go into your speed, and then camp gets shorter, so then you have to like cut out what you're going to cut out. It's, you can't cut out the power, you can't cut out like speed work, so then you cut out the strength work, because that's not as essential as power and speed. That's why everyone should get a good strength conditioning coach and then learn from them, because they will know what they're doing. I think that's the thing with no other coach. What you get, as long as you get someone that's been in the industry longer than you're more qualified, you're consistently learning. And I always say a good coach will explain to you the reasons why you do something. So like when I do a lot of my periodization myself, and then it's like, but then like because I've got this big thick book, and I read it, and like when I look at it, and it's like, well, that doesn't apply to me, because like I've got no seasons. I could literally go into a fight and then finish the fight, have no injuries, and then fight again in 4 weeks. So I can't really have a tapering phase and then straight go back into, because I have to, like, if I taper down So and I got 3 weeks to get ready for the next fight. So I just constantly have to keep active.
Yeah.
But then,
sorry.
So I constantly have to be active. So then it's like it might not be tapering. I might just still focus on, like I said, dropping the strength work because I did it for my previous camp, but I just focus on that power work constantly. Might not be as like heavy, but I still focus on that power and speed. So it's like you need to like know how it works, like what's the what is the end goal you want from your strength conditioning, like camp or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Okay. That sound. So we touched a little bit on the injury prevention and what it does and what it contributes to, i.e., tendons, ligaments surrounding the complex joints, shoulder, elbow, knee, hip. Would you say there's any specific exercises or strategies that you focus on for injury prevention in boxing?
So, for like, you mean regarding strength conditioning?
Yeah.
I'd always say like before you do anything, like it's just like any I think strength conditioning program, like you do a thorough warm up. For example, for me, because over the years I've had like shoulder rotator cuff injuries. So for me, like when I do my strength conditioning, I always warm up my shoulder rotator cuffs. Okay, it's just like whether it's like just mobilizing them like a little bit with like slight lightweight, just make sure that I get blood flow around it before I start doing any heavy lifting, because I know that's the first thing that's going to go. If I'm going to get an injury anywhere, that's always my shoulder. Because constant punching, you're constantly punching. Although like so your power comes from your legs, whether it's kickboxing, MMA, most of the punches come from your like the end result is the shoulder. So like the most common injury I've received is shoulders. Well, most of mine, for like my mates, is all shoulders. Okay, a lot of it comes from shoulders because.
What out of interest? This is my interest now. So specifically, where does this injury tend to be? Is it like anterior? Is it posterior? Is it back? Is it
more towards back?
Or the back? Yeah, interesting.
Because it's like because you got like was it the subscapularis and all them.
That's right. You got your scapula, you got your rhomboid, you got
so it's like
shoulder blade.
For me personally, it's always at the back, because initially I never like once again unless I did till I actually did strength conditioning, I actually never understand like what the pain was, because I used to just do it, and like I went to physio and I was like, my shoulder's burning every time I had a fight, and I was like fight camp, I was like my shoulder's burning, and I was just thought it was a fatigue pain, and that's it. And my physio kept saying, you might have like tore your like shoulder rotator cuff a little bit, and I was just no idea, and I was just like fine, and then left physio. Okay, next day went back to training and just started training again. No warm up, no nothing, and then it's just like
you felt it straight away again.
That's it.
Yeah.
Felt it straight away, and then once I started doing strength conditioning, and then understand how it works, and it's just like maybe I need to warm it up before I start doing any actual work. So like I said, strength conditioning it's good because it helps you not just like build strength, not build power, but also understand like how your body works.
Yeah. It's important basis for a lot of people. It's just interesting for me. So within your programs, do you usually do look like much shoulder accessory work within your programs, like rear delt, lateral head, anterior head?
Yeah.
Or is it more like complex movements? So you do that? You do like overhead pressing?
So for example, yesterday I did because I'm not in a camp now, and I'm like I've got no fights booked till next year. So at the moment, what I'm doing, I'm just being like I do a little bit of strength work, and then I just do a bit more hypertrophy because, like I said, I like to look good naked.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
For my own purpose reasons. Like American Psycho style. No, so I don't really do that much like strength conditioning right now. It's more just like just building my strength and like looking good. But every single time I do any upper body work or even lower body, I go for a thorough warm up, like mobility, make sure like my shoulders, my joints are warm before I go into any lifting. So like yesterday doing shoulders, like I did my like YTs, Ws, just make sure my shoulders are on fire.
Warmed up before,
That's it, before I actually start doing any lifting whatsoever.
So then your shoulder routine, what do you do? I'm genuinely intrigued. What do you do in your shoulder routine?
Like just my strength work.
Yeah.
So basically, I'll focus between like yesterday was 5 sets of 8 reps, and then I say 5 sets. It was basically 5 sets of 8, and then the heavier it gets, maybe I'll drop the reps down.
Was that pressing?
Yeah, military press.
Yeah. Okay.
And then after that, I'll just do accessories, whether it's like chest, whether it's like rows, pulls, and stuff like that. But I always have that one main compound I'm going to focus on lifting, because I don't go like just shoulder work. I'll do my heavy lift, and then I'll move on to something else, because I don't want to just focus on like doing full hour and a half just doing shoulders.
Yeah, no, that's counterproductive.
So what I'll do, like I said, I'll do main lift, and then have my accessories. Okay. So for example, like yesterday we do presses. Then we go into pull-ups.
Yeah.
Well, not pull-ups, it's like inverted rows. Then it's a little bit chest work, and then that's it. And then maybe like, because once again, not in the camp, I'll do a little bit arms, so like a little bit biceps, triceps, and that's it. Just
what's your favourite shoulder movement to do then?
I like military press.
Okay,
that's my favourite one, military press or clean and jerk.
Okay,
so,
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do
like Olympic lifts, stuff like that?
Okay,
I'm
cool.
terrible at them, but like I enjoy it.
Yeah. You enjoy it. Well, it's important with the training. Yeah. Do you ever do like any upside down kettlebell work? Like
I only do them in camp.
Oh, you do them in camp?
Just for stability purposes. When I'm not in camp, because I don't think about it when I'm not in camp, and I'm just like, I go simple. I just go very like basic, just focus on your main lifts. But then when I'm in camp, I'm like, okay, I need to make sure everything's warm. So like upside down, like kettlebell work, stability. I do like overhead, like farmers walks with one kettlebell in my hands. And that's
Quality.
It. So just said, but outside camp, I don't really do like all these fancy things because it's just focused on the basic movement patterns.
Cool. Interesting.
That's it. But one thing I do struggle like periodization for myself.
Yeah.
So I do it for my friends, like, which is easy. But I think when you do it for yourself, you overthink everything.
You do a little bit, yeah. That's my issue. I overthink a lot for myself, but I put on people a lot. I'm like overly cautious about shoulders. A lot of people have weakness in there, so I work a lot on rear delts to help strengthen posture. I do a lot of like neutral pressing with dumbbells and also upside down kettlebell arnold presses because like for shoulder stability and for strength, it's like a no-brainer. And it's just interesting because obviously in your sport, I'd be thinking like shoulder movements, strength, stability, assistance.
Actually, regarding like I said, like rear delts and shoulders, that's a good thing as well because like boxers, they always stand like this, so you oftentimes see like
hunching forwards.
That's it. So and that's because of the tight chest. So you do need to make your back stronger and make sure you're always, like I said, warming up like the mobility stuff for your chest as well. Because like I said, if you hunch over, because like I said, when initially I started, every physio I went to, they said the reason I'm getting shoulder pain before I actually did my rotator cuff was because my chest was tight. So every time I went to physio to do like work on my shoulders, they would work on my chest, and I was just like, well, that's not what I'm here for. Mm-hmm. Why are you doing my chest? And once again, I did not realize what they were doing until I started doing strength and conditioning. Because then it's like they explain you, it's like chest gone too tight, shoulders gone too weak, so it's pulling me over, and that's causing it in like my shoulder pain. That's it.
Oh, cool, interesting. Interesting.
So like I said, for sport, like you're learning your skill, but I think like I said, it's just like with nutrition and like with strength conditioning, it's like it teaches you a lot more. Like you understand things a bit more better. Yeah. Like why you're doing certain exercises and what's the best thing to do certain exercises. You get an injury and it's like I said, for me, like every time I got an injury, it's like it didn't matter what pain it was just always. I was just tired. It's just fatigue. It's just tired. And then once I started doing strength conditioning and like, and I knew like, okay, when I do shoulders, okay, that's fatigue pain. But then when I box, it's like, well, that's very like bad burning, stinging sensation. Right. It's like maybe that's not fatigue. Maybe that's something else. Yeah. And that's it. And physios kept telling me, it's like, yeah, my shoulder rotator cuff, and I was just like, now I understand what they mean. So it's like, yeah. It's hard. It's just. Strength conditioning helps to understand how your body works.
So basically, warm up and cool down, guys. That's a lot of people don't do. So next up, we're going to talk about balancing cardiovascular training and strength training. So obviously, boxing requires both endurance and explosive power, doesn't it? Yeah. So how would you balance between like cardiovascular training and strength training to optimize performance?
Well, you have to like incorporate both in the same session because our goal is the sport itself, so we can't really do strength work and then focusing on like just doing too much like what's called conditioning, like running, sprints, everything. So oftentimes we only have like limited time. So it's like for example, I try to do my strength conditioning twice a week. Okay, when I'm in camp, when I'm outside camp, I'll do a bit more often, but like I won't do as much conditioning. I'll just do more like strength work. Yeah, and then. But in camp, I'll do my main movements. I'll warm up, I'll do my like lifts and then my accessories. Then I'll finish once again, depending on how far I am from fight. So the further out from fight, the less intense the conditioning is going to be. So it's going to be like building up base. Yeah. Okay. And the closer I get, then like I might start doing intervals where I go like 8 seconds on, like 30 seconds off for like 12 rounds. it all depends how close you get to a fight. But like most of my sessions, it's you start with your main lift and you finish on your conditioning. But at the same time as well, like when you do your skill work, because like your skill work should last between hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay. So whether it's sparring, whether it's pad work, bag work, but because when you box, when you kickbox, when you do any combat sports, like most any sports, like your fitness starts building in this sport you do. So like say when I go to do sparring, so I don't have to think about like just being technically good. I also have to keep my fitness up. So the more I throw, the more I move, the more I'm going to build my fitness up as well.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like, because the end goal is always to focus on building your conditioning for the purpose, for the sport you're doing. So it's like, let's say one thing I do towards a fight. So I'll often do 5-round fight. So I might do 2 minutes all out on a soul bike, or 2 minutes like just sprinting. Not in a sense like I'm going like 100%, because you can't sprint for 100% for 2 minutes. No. But I'll do like 2 minutes as quick as I can, and then I'll come off for a minute rest. Or I'll go 1 minute on a bike, fully fatigue myself, come off that bike, and then finish the round on bag, because now I'm focusing on working on that fatigue rate, but hitting the bag, specifically focusing on the sport I'm doing. And then again, I said I'll do like maybe 8 seconds on, 4 seconds off, all out sprint, and then rest. My rest might be like active recovery. I'm just going to focus on movement, and then all out 8 seconds on just punching out that bag, whether it's battle ropes, whether it's like slam ball, but just constant working. Like so, you're trying to have to incorporate the sessions in one, so you have to work like, okay, you know
smarter,
what,
smarter, not harder.
That's it, smarter, not harder. Because like saying, if we don't have that much time, because like for me personally, like I've got to do my training for my my kickboxing, and then once I finish my training, I've still got to go to work, so I can't just be like focusing on
train yourself like 12 hours a day.
Yeah, that's it. Like once you make to like the pro rankings, then maybe like you know what, let's focus on your said like let's do running on Monday, strength work on a Tuesday, and then rest on a Wednesday, and then like sprints on Thursday, and then strength work on Friday. But then like I said, when you first start off, you have to condense it down, because you still got a life to live as well.
Exactly.
And the main priority is always the sport you're doing, not the strength and conditioning. That's an accessory to help you get better. So it's like you have to try to like just condense everything. And then again, like the repetitions in your sport.
And that's also codependent on the time you can invest into training as well, isn't it? So it's a lot to get your head around, really, isn't it? Like
so like, but even like so when you do your skill work, it's a lot of repetition, and it's like it's when you go in, like when you like whether you hit pads or you do drills and everything, it's hour and a half, 2 hours, just constant work. So that's going to build your baseline, and then the closer you get to your fights, the harder training can get. So that's in a sense building your conditioning for that specific sport. So even like say if you don't have that time to go do like an hour and a half, 2 hours of like strength conditioning, you might just go in there, do your strength and power work. But then when you go to your practice, do your skill work, you might be able to like incorporate your conditioning into that skill work, and that's it. Like I said, like throwing hook last 10 minutes, just 8 seconds all out on hook bag, and then just 40 seconds off, or whatever sort of program you follow. You're just focusing on just building that strength, muscle endurance for that specific sport you're doing.
Cool.
That's it. So that's like one thing I notice when I get close to fights. I'll finish like always hard work on the bag. I'll work on pads, and that's it, and then just stretch off, and then go home, sleep,
rest, repeat.
That's it, and repeat next day.
Sound. So how does nutrition play a role in a boxer like S&C program? Do you have much input like nutritionally from?
It's once again, it's like this sort. It's like it's you have to know what to eat, when to eat it. For example, like if you're having a heavy day, you can't be like, oh, I'm on a diet and I need to get that much, like need to lose this much weight, so I'm gonna have a heavy day. Let's say Tuesday, Thursday is my heaviest day of training, but I'm still gonna eat the same as I eat Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Because it's like, well, you've had a heavy training session on these 2 days, so you need to maybe eat a little bit more. So you need to adapt your nutrition, okay, with your training load. So whether it's like you increase your calories on the days you train harder, and then decrease your calories on the days you like not
quite as active.
That's it, not as active. That's it.
Okay.
But like that's one thing that I learned as well as I got older, and the more I did strength and conditioning, because before I used to eat the same. Okay, it doesn't matter. Like I trained on Monday, did like 2 hours.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday, Thursday. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday was like 2 hours skill work, a little bit hard work at the end. Like I said, a little bit hard conditioning, and then Tuesday, Thursday, did like my strength work plus another 2 hours. So that's like 3.5 hours, 4 hours. But I still used to eat the same.
Right. Okay.
So it'd be like,
really? Right.
Because I used to undereat a lot. Because my friend once said to me, he's like, asked me how much do I eat, and I was like, well, I'm not sure, like 2,000 calories, and he's like, that's not enough. And then I was like, well, I feel alright.
Yeah.
And then I actually did my first calculations on my fitness pal. And so basically, what I ate for the last 2 weeks, I just made the same meal prep and I did my own calculations, and I was only eating 1,600 calories in a fight camp. But then, like when I go to labs, the lab says like I should be eating 36,000 calories or 3,600 calories, and I was just like, well,
that's like double.
That's it, yeah, double. I've been under eating, and that's on the days I'm just training like normal.
That's not even
that's
like
it.
with the intense sessions.
Well, that's it. And once I said like when I do like strength conditioning in the morning, I should eat a bit more, just to allow my body to recover so that I can perform the same intensity the next day.
I'm with you. So what would you say? What's your go-to like for other boxers that maybe listen to this? What recovery strategies would you recommend to people? In like in boxing, as in,
don't on your like rest days, don't just think, oh, it's my rest day, so I'm not doing anything. Like be active. Like whether it's like light work, like yoga, maybe go for a walk, maybe do some stretching, like not stretching, do mobility stuff, but like just keep that blood flow, okay? Because you don't want to just like said. I used to do it Wednesdays, rest days, do nothing, and then I'm like, oh, I still feel sore, I feel this, but you need to like say, because you got lactic acid build up, you got like your blood stagnated. You need to make sure that you keep moving all the time. And once again, I learned all this because my coach Adam Chang, who taught me like, well, you can't just be sat on your couch, do nothing on your rest days.
No, yeah.
So it's like
almost like active recovery, innit?
Yeah. So
that's
like
how I'd brand it.
The best like recovery strategy is just be active. Don't like think, oh, rest day, I'm gonna go nice like 10k run. No, like maybe do a walk, like maybe like do some what's called this steppers, something that promotes increase that blood flow around your body, and that's it. But just don't be a couch potato.
Yeah,
I'd say that's like just keep it like, even get a bath like that. Warm water will improve your
get clean.
Improve that circulation.
Yeah, awesome. So let's jump in a little bit into functional training now. So could you discuss the concept of functional training for boxers and how it differs from traditional strength training?
Ooh, that's outside my expertise here.
Yeah.
But like functional training, because like boxing, it's constant moving, isn't it? In boxing, like any combat sports, you don't just like normal strength training is just like you lift weight and that's it. Like say the powerlifters, they just do the same motion over and over and over. Like with boxing, you have to be able to be like you have to be mobile, so you have to be able to move. So like functional training is probably a lot better for boxers in a sense that like it just keeps you mobile and it allows your body to move through like full range of motions.
Yeah. That's
why I like incorporating like say Olympic lifts or like CrossFit style training into my strength work, because it's more functional as you go through like full range of motion. It's not the same. So your squats, deadlifts, your presses and all that is good.
Yeah.
But the closer you get to your fights, the closer you get to to the end of the camp, the more you need to start like focusing on prioritizing specific movement patterns that will like
kind of translate into the sport you're doing.
You can't be bench pressing like 2 weeks before you fight and think that's gonna help you with your striking, because it's not. Because it's just when you ever see anyone going,
you don't
so
do.
You have to start being a bit more functional. Put your body through like functional training, whether it's like one hand lift or whether it's like saying Olympic lifting. You just need to incorporate just that variety. I can't even say it.
Variety.
That's the one. Get guys on foreign. I can't pronounce my R's. In your lifting, start off basic, and then like towards end of the camp, you start focusing a bit more specifically on the things that will help you to stay loose. And like I said, I'm losing my thought. Talking too much here. Basically, you just need to focus on things that will actually help you in the camp instead of just like saying you start your camp with basic movements and then towards end of the camp you start focusing on more functional movements. And that's it.
We do a little intermission here. Rob can sing you a song while I go and get him another bottle of water.
Yeah. Oh my god. This is what did we cut this bit out because we feel awkward there. So, have a little biscuit.
Did you do that Offspring song? This is intermission.
I can't. Honestly, I can't sing any songs. I know songs, but just don't know any lyrics.
yeah, I know. Yeah, so what you're saying on so the closer you get to a fight, the more functional you get. Makes sense in brass tacks. But I mean, I would even argue that like a squat, a deadlift, a bench press, an overhead press, and a row are in the functional movements, the movement patterns, the way we move to a specific. So there's a function behind them, isn't there?
There is, but like then you don't see like when like say box, you don't see anyone going like ass to grass, like because we always have like this only. Like you see people often take the piss out like Olympic sprinters saying like when they do like the little quarter squats and it's like, well, just did a quarter squat with like 240 kilograms and then what's the point?
Yeah.
But it's like, well, their sport isn't to squat all the way to the floor.
No, I get you.
So now it's like it becomes functional in the sense that it's more specific to what they're supposed to be doing because when you sprint there's a slight hip flexion.
Yeah.
So then when they do the squat, they can't just be going all the way down, all the way up, because they're not going to really start the sprint from the squat position.
No, they're not. No,
so
they're
not.
Not.
Make like, functional, but you have to make it functional to the sport they're doing.
I'm with you. Sound awesome. So we're going to chop into a little bit into the training camp prep now. So you covered a little bit on this, to be fair. I mean, you kind of really covered it, I guess, talking about more functional as you get closer to it towards your training camp, really. But so my next question was, so how does the strength and conditioning program change during box training camp leading up to a fight?
Apologies. Don't ever eat a biscuit during podcast.
Macaroons. They're good. They're like a pair of...
As I said before, so you start your camp. You said once you got a fight booked in, then the first thing you need to do is establish, okay, how long have you got?
Yeah.
How long what you got and what do you need to prioritize?
So how long does a camp usually?
Well, if you get like good camps, like so, like, I've had fights where I've had like between like 9 and 12 weeks.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if I was to guess on a spitball, I'd guess spitballing around between 9 to 12 weeks.
Yeah, that's like a good camp. Sometimes you'll get like fights on like 2 week notice, okay, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and that's it. And you have to take it and then say, but you can't just go, okay, I've got 2 weeks, and then we're just gonna go into start doing what would I do like on 12-week camp where I start doing my strength work, because you have to prioritize what is necessary for that camp. Maybe you had an injury, so now we need to look after like, okay, you know what, we need to improve. Let's say you had a knee injury, so we need to make sure we like strengthen that knee to make sure that in a fight it doesn't like cause any like so in a fight, so it doesn't stop you from competing. So we need to focus on maybe strengthen that knee, or we need to focus on strengthening that shoulder. Mm-hmm. So the camp kind of adjusts with what you need to improve on. Okay. So you like you're weak, like you said, you're not explosive enough in your legs, so maybe now needs to do power work. Maybe you're not strong enough in your legs, like your legs lose fatigue, so maybe you need to start focusing on conditioning. Okay. Like so
is that the purpose of a camp? So a camp's purpose is to tune in on what you need to focus on.
That's it, exactly. So because every single fight you focus on 2 things. Okay, one is focus on improving your ability, and number 2 is focus on what is your opponent good at. So you want to you kind of want to like make sure that like you're ready for whatever he's thrown at, like coming at you with. So it's like the goal is always improve yourself, but at the same time you need to make sure that like you're aware what they can do.
Right.
That's it. So like, but then it's like if you've got injuries, you've got specific things that you need to work on. You need to focus on that. So strength conditioning is like going to camp. But even if you've got a full camp, you still like we have issues with that shoulder. Like for me, my shoulder. So we need to always make sure every session we do, we need to work on that shoulder, make sure that shoulder is like fully recovered by the time the camp like finishes. So once we go on that fight night, we know, okay, you know what, we worked on it. It's going to cause no issues whatsoever. So camp adjusts with what you need to improve on.
Right, okay.
So it's
it's complex, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's like every sport has got its own requirements, and then like boxing said, you got your basic things, but then at the same time you need to work and improve on what you're bad at.
Yeah. Crikey. Is there any? Would there be any point that if you say you're in a camp, you're leading towards something, and let's just say, for argument's sake, your shoulder wasn't getting better, or you were still struggling on something from a performance perspective, would it be up to your coach's discretion to be like, you're not ready, or that you pull out? What's the surrounding with that?
So, yeah, sometimes that is the case. Sometimes could be even like, you could be even yourself, listen, like, it's not, because I had a fight, so years ago I had a fight, I was supposed to be fighting a lad who was a 5-time world champion. It was a 5 times world amateur champion, and I think about so the fight got announced, and so I think I had about 8 weeks to get ready. But on my first week of my camp, I injured my elbow, and I couldn't throw punches. So I was, for the first 4 weeks, we just focused on just throwing one hand. I think I injured my right elbow, so I couldn't throw my power right, so I couldn't throw my cross. So we just focused on improving that left hand.
Right.
And then as the camp went on, it wasn't getting better. So then my coach was like, listen, Rob, like, there's no point. Okay. You going into a fight one-handed, like, you could still win it.
Okay? Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you could injure that for like a lot worse, and then you might be out longer. So might as well just cancel this fight.
Yeah.
And then move on to the next one, fully get recover, and then move on to the next one. And the same thing like last year, I had a little spasm on my back, and then stopped me from doing anything. This was happened on a fight week, so I had to pull out on a fight week, because sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
And you just have to work around it. What I said could be just like my shin, injured my shin.
You said
so it's just like I could go ahead with it. But then my coach was like, well, you're not trained properly for 3 weeks. You've just been told that there's an infection in your leg, so you could go ahead with it. But what are you going to gain from it?
It's risk versus reward, isn't it?
You can win the fight.
Yeah.
But then the injury gets worse.
Yeah.
And then you might be out for longer. Where if we just don't take it, we focus on recovering. Yeah. And this wasn't specifically for strength conditioning, but this was just you need to work around the injuries. So if your injury's too bad, you need to understand, listen, you know what? The fight can wait. I can always get another fight. But the recovery of my body is the priority. Because like I said, if you go in a camp and you got an injury and then it's bad and you come out of the fight and then sometimes lucky nothing happens. Because in the past I had 3 fights one after another, and then I got an injury on my knee after the first fight. Still went through the camp. I had my second fight. I think I got an elbow injury. Still went through, and then I had my third fight. I still ended up winning fights, all 3.
Right.
But I had 3 injuries. But I ended that third fight because it was literally November. It was actually it's October, November, December.
Right.
So 3 fights, literally back to back.
Christ.
And then and after every single fight, I got an injury. And then after that, I was like, okay, Rob, you know what? Let's take time off.
Take time off and just focus on recovery.
Didn't have a fight for 6-7 months till I got to probably July, because the goal was recovery now.
Yeah. So we're into common mistakes and misconceptions now. So what are some common mistakes and misconceptions you see in the S&C routines of aspiring boxers that you've seen on either Instagram, social media, or...
The most common one is, I think we're all at fault of this, even like I said, that's because we don't know it, understand it properly, and it's the doing it like you're a bodybuilder, focusing on hypertrophy instead of actually building your strength and building your power. And this is why it's important to get a knowledgeable strength conditioning coach who can actually explain to you how it works and how to do it correctly. Like I said, oftentimes when I get closer to my fight, and then my weight wise, my weight might be a bit too off, and then my my coach might be like, "Oh, you have to stop doing strength work because you're putting on too much
muscle. Weight."
Yeah, it's like, well, it's not, because if you do it the correct way, if you do like focusing on like building strength, you don't actually put size on, because like you see like some that said the powerlifters, like weightlifters, like I watched this kid the other day and he was like 70 kilos and he like deadlifted, I don't know, 4 times his body weight, and really? I'm like, well,
yeah,
it's like, well, he's tiny. And he's like deadlifting like nearly 4 times or 3 times body weight. And it's like, well, clearly doesn't put size on.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends how you train. And then the common thing people do is they train their strength conditioning like bodybuilders. So doing like
too much high volume, too much like muscle size work, rather than,
or do it too much. Like do like it's cardio basically, so you do too many reps.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a fine line, like when you're doing it, like, because like I used to do it. And once again, this is like, I'm always gonna say his name, Adam Chang. But he was like, he taught me so much about like strength conditioning, because like I remember I used to like do certain stuff, and he came up to me and like, because if I wasn't able to train with him, I'll just like do my own stuff. And this before I start actually like learning about it. I just thinking, going in there, get a sweat on, and I'll be doing stuff, and he'll see me like working. He's like, "What are you working on?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying to do this," and he goes, "Well, you're doing too many reps." Like now, it's not. You're not building like power. You're not building strength. You're not doing anything.
No. Yeah.
But just building just cardio. That's it, muscle endurance. So you need to understand, like, you don't want to overdo it.
No.
But then you also don't want to make it like we're just hypertrophy. So you don't want to just go like do like 12 reps, 15 sets, or do 12 reps for like 10 sets. Because it's works instead, like it don't want to turn to cardio, but you also don't want to build muscle. You want to build muscle that is functional, not muscle that looks good.
Yeah, there's ever show, not for actual.
That's it.
Yeah, it's like having a bodybuilding physique, but then trying to do the boxing. There's too much weight and too much much mass around you for be able to move effectively, fast in and out. And
you see people that like said, like, you see a lot of like strength powerlifters, strength. I don't know, not powerlifters. Is it powerlifters? Like they said, like the kid was 70 kilos and deadlifted like 3 times, 4 times his body weight, and I'm like, but he looks like me. He's built like me.
Because he'll be focusing on the muscle fibers, because he won't ever lift higher than probably 5 reps at working at max. He's not going to build that muscle on top of.
That's the misconception people don't understand. Is like, just because you're doing weight training doesn't actually mean you can, like, you're gonna put muscle on and I need to stop weight training because I'm gonna put size on. It's no. If you're doing it the correct way,
effectively for your sport and for your craft,
you're building like required muscle. You're building like functional muscle. That's like the biggest misconception is training like a bodybuilder or training just for cardio.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure like you do it in specific rep ranges. That's why, like, either said do your research or get a just good strength conditioning coach. That's it.
Yeah, because my next question is how can the boxers avoid pitfalls and optimize their training? To which your response would be a good coach.
That's it.
Yeah.
Even like I said, if you can't afford it, get one. Okay, get one, because you don't have to like have them for the rest of your life. What you could do is, get them, maybe do like half a year, like maybe 1 session a week, but ask questions. Like when they ask, making do certain things, find out why. Because like saying, strength conditioning coach job is to help you get better, and that's like whether it's their job to improve your knowledge. Okay, make you better at the sport. Because if you're doing, like I said, I used to do it. I just went to the gym, and then do this, do that. I never used to ask questions, and I just did finish my session. And
do what you were told.
That's it, and then just went home. Never understood why I was doing it. It's only when I did my level 2 and level 3, like a personal training course, and then when I started training back with Adam Chang, that's when I started asking a bit more questions, because it's like I kind of want to know what I'm doing.
Yeah, of course.
Like, and then every single session he was like explaining to me, and I was like, you know what, like I should have done this years ago. So you want to have like whatever you do, you want to have purpose behind it. Okay, you want to know what's the purpose, and that's it.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's because I think even when people start with like a PT with me, for example, it's not necessarily that person forever. It's what you learn from that person.
Yeah.
The motor mechanics, how to move effectively, how to move properly. Same with with the strength and conditioning. You learn how to do the movements, what you should be focusing on. Like yourself now, when you take the range yourself, then you've got that knowledge and that value. You can apply that into your own sport and your own routine, and that's with you for life, innit? So it's a worthwhile investment.
It is.
For
it's
a lot of people.
Nutritionists, you get your strength conditioning. Like you want to invest in knowledge, and that's it. And all these people, what they're going to give you is knowledge.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is as well, because as we've spoken about before, the online space is full of BS and misinformation. And what these people do, and what I do, is give people a backbone and say, that's what you should be doing.
That's it.
That's the route you should be going on. Just gives you a bit of clarity and a bit of, which direction, what turning to go down, which junction to turn off at that crossroad and to keep going down. It's a worthwhile investment, isn't it?
It is. Like you said, you want to it is. You're just basically trying to mod your body. Okay, but unlike with a car, like I said before, it's like modding your car, but instead of just putting putting a new engine on, new exhaust, it's not an overnight thing. It takes time, and that's why if you have the patience and you want to learn and you want to understand it, it's the perfect thing. Okay, that's why I said invest your money in your strength conditioning coach, invest your money in your nutritionist, because they will teach you how to do it right. Before strength conditioning, before doing work with Adam Chang, I did 30 kilo deadlift for 20 reps, and I thought I was the strongest person ever. And then this is my proudest moment. My heaviest deadlift ever was, okay, it's not anyone cares, but it was 165. Okay, 165. Brilliant. And I was just well, I know I wouldn't have been able to achieve this without having his help.
Yeah, I understand.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it's you need to invest, because saying, knowledge is power.
It is, yeah. Quite right. So, you've kind of just answered this before, if I'm brutally honest. So what advice would you give to aspiring boxers who want to improve their strength and conditioning, other than obviously investing in a strength and conditioning coach? What other advice would you give?
Just take your time. Don't rush the process, guys. Don't rush the process. It takes time to get good. Whether it's practicing new skill, whether it's saying starting doing strength conditioning, it doesn't happen overnight. Okay, as they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. The same principle applies. If you want to be good at something, just invest your time. Invest in your time, in your knowledge, and your success. Okay, and cut out all that shit. Cut out. Public
service announcement from Rob.
Honestly, by that I mean cut out the negative people in your life. Cut out everyone that doubts you. Maybe have them around a little bit, okay, but don't take them on board. That's it. The key is if you want to succeed at said in boxing, if you want to succeed at anything, you have to commit yourself, okay? And the best way to commit yourself is by knowledge, okay? Just improve your knowledge, increase your knowledge, okay? So remember, nutrition, okay, big part of it. Strength conditioning, big part of it. Skill work, big part of it. Just improve that knowledge, increase that knowledge, because it will help you overall performance in the specific sport you're doing, and that is the goal.
Would you say that a lot of people kind of, when they get into boxing at first, there's a lot of excitement and somewhat of a rush for the first fight? Would you say to people to hang back a little bit? I mean, it's obviously there's a lot of expectation and excitement about that first fight in there and the fights thereafter.
Yeah. So you see this often, and I did the same. I started fighting. I only had 4 amateur fights before I turned pro, and the reality is take your time. Don't if your coach doesn't put you forward to fights, it's not because he doesn't want you to fight. It's because he thinks maybe you need a bit more time. Remember, once you step in that ring, once you're ready, okay, you'll be ready. You'll know you're ready. Your coach will know you're ready, and then once you step in there, and then it's just gonna roll from there. It just keeps rolling, okay. But don't rush that process, because you go in there too early, okay, and you underperform, and that could be it. That could be your fight career over. Not because you weren't bad, but just because you stepped in too early. For example, I did in my first fight. I went in there 6 months experience of training, and I got wiped the floor with me. Okay, but I'm mentally as strong as I want to come back, and then I want to continue. But not everyone's like that. No. So it's the goal is just take your time. Okay, don't focus on the fight. Focus on improving yourself. Okay, don't be like, oh, I'm a fighter and everything. Don't be a fighter, okay? Because being fighter is nothing. Okay, be an athlete. Okay, and take your time and focus on improving your skill. Don't focus on a fight. Okay, like if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. Okay, but you can get better. And that's what you're going to focus on, getting better every single day. 1% a day, 1% a week. That's all you need to do. Don't rush the process, okay? Just trust it. Take your time. And when you're ready and you step into that ring, okay, it'll show. But if you go in too early, once again, it'll show as well. But it's not going to be the way you want it to be. Just because you rushed it, because you wanted to get in there so much. And then you get in there and then it doesn't go your way. So take your time. Okay, it's a slow and long process, just like with anything in life.
Yeah, respect. I like that. Is there any resource or training methodologies that you'd recommend for those looking to enhance the performance of the ring? Any specifics at the top of your head? It may just be with you going with a coach, or there may be some tips or tricks that you may think of, or things you've read or watched or something.
Just perfect what you're good at and improve what you're bad on, okay? Because everyone's got their own little niche style, and you want to perfect that style, okay? But at the same time, you also want to focus on something that you're bad at, okay? Don't focus on anything else but improving yourself, and that's the only methodology I could say is focus on just getting better. That's all it really is, okay? Because the key is to be successful in what you want to do. And I say this doesn't apply to just boxing or kickboxing or whatever it just applies in life.
Yeah.
You want to be good at something, you have to put your time and effort into it, and that's it. Like I said, cut out all the negativity. Don't go out with your mates partying just because they say it's fun. Years ago, my mates said, "Oh, you need to do something fun," and I was like, "Well, for me, fun is going to the gym and training." Okay?
Yeah.
Surrounding myself with like-minded people, and my mate said, "No, you need to come out. They're not your friends. Okay?
No, yeah,
they're just training partners.
It's true.
They're not your friends. They're your training partners." And it's like, well, what's the difference between me going to the gym and spending 3 hours with them, and then going out, getting wasted with you, where I don't remember half the night.
Yeah.
And I remember he said, honestly, you just come out with us one night and relax. And I was like, well, listen, I will come out with you. I'll get drunk and I'll do whatever you want me to do. But you have to come to the gym with me and do one of my sessions. And I'd say the session, so on a Monday, I did 3 hours. You come to the gym and you do 3 hours with me, and I'll promise you I'll go out next weekend. Nobody ever did it.
Really?
I'd say nobody ever, they all were like, yeah, we'll do it. And nobody ever did it. And I was like, well, if you can't do what I do, why should I do what you want to do?
Yeah, so that's true.
It. And that's why, I said, I lost a lot of my friends because they just want to go out, get pissed, party, do drugs. And I was just like, you know what? I understand what, that's your life, but that's not for me.
No.
That's it. No. So it's so you just want to cut out all that negativity.
That's one hell of a mind shift. That's mental maturity. That's massive.
You want to. If you want to succeed at something, you have to put your time and effort into it, and that's it. It's not an overnight success.
No,
it just takes time, but you have to just put them hours in every single day, and don't rush it. Just take your time.
Enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey.
That's it. It's gonna happen, and when it happens, you'll love it. You'll reap the benefits.
Yeah.
Don't rush it.
Yeah, it's like me chasing Joe Rogan.
That's it.
It'll happen. Don't rush the process, but it'll take time to get there.
and then we can start talking whatever we want.
Talk about anything we want.
That's
then
it.
we talk about literally anything.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for a later time. So that's pretty much it for a wrap for me. That's all my questions answered. Anything that I've missed out that you want to cover?
No, I thought that was pretty good. Like I said, once again, struggle. As soon as the camera comes on, I struggle. I had literally so much want to say, and so much I planned this in my head. And as soon as he switches the camera on, it goes. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird how people do all the time. And this is why I used to think YouTubers are just like piece of just crap. But it's hard. It's hard to just be
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, just be camera face. And by the way, just so you know, don't you won't know, but Alan rides backwards. He goes back to front.
Yeah, because is that the back of my
He goes back to front.
The front for business, the back for. It's still business, but I don't know. Front for business, back for I don't know what we can make out of that.
I
do ride backwards.
Back page.
Yeah. And I work backwards. I'm like the Japanese anime books, the comics, whatever you call them. But
that's just how Japanese write.
It is, yeah. Just backwards. It makes sense. But yeah, mate.
Mental.
Fantastic,
cool,
man.
but mental.
Okay, but as we said, like he's talking about as a training methodology and all that kind of stuff in boxing and getting better at that. Like this, the more you do this, you get better. You're more relaxed now than what you were in that first one.
Oh yeah, I remember. But nobody will ever see the first one because Alan lost the footage.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah, first.
Yeah, the first one. We have the retake, don't we? And then we have the next one coming to this, and then this one. So this is your second one on in the series. So many more to come. So thank you for Rob. Thank you for your time, mate.
Just need to slow down and just
breathe and eat macaroons.
Eat macaroons, guys. Enjoy Christmas time. So it's just
no
fights, no nothing. Go on holiday.
Holiday for you now.
So just rest, chill.
Cool. So I know we've said it every time, but if they want to come find you for coaching, where do they go again, Rob?
Try to find me on my coaching page, which is Coach Rob _Zab. Or just my normal Instagram page, which is Rob _Zab.
And where do you coach from, Rob, again? Where do you go?
I coach from Team Elite and JB Boxing Gym on Mosley Street.
Fantastic. So if you want to go and train with Rob and let him give you a good scene too. Try
some boxing.
Hop in his DMs. I'd love that very much.
That's it, yeah.
But yeah, so again, a pleasure as usual, mate. Enjoy your holiday. Hope you have a great time. We'll be obviously doing the next episode whenever you're back, and I'm sure we'll hear all about the fun that you have away. And yeah, guys, thank you for listening as per usual. Again, give us a rating, subscribe, share it on all your socials, all the usual jargon. I'll catch you in the next one, and that's a wrap. See you in a bit, guys. Take it easy.
Take care.